Hello, I'm Fraser with Metal Wani. I'm here with FLESHGOD APOCALYPSE at Heavy Scotland. How the fuck you doing today, man?
Very good.
Excellent, cool. So you've just finished your set about an hour ago. How do you think it went?
It was really nice. I really enjoyed. Good crowd, good vibe. Festival is good. It's the first time, so very good.
Fantastic, cool. So there was a bit of an issue with your drummer. He's fucked up his ankle. How did you kind of get over that? Because obviously your ankle's kind of important for playing drums.
Yeah, it's been a very strange thing, very unlucky thing, because he's been for now like 2 months into like a recovery program for his back, because in January we did our headlining European tour, and we had to cancel the last 3 shows because he couldn't play no more because of the back. And it's been something that it's been building up a little bit during last year. It's been having some issues, but we kept playing. We did a lot of gigs last year. We played 120 gigs in 1 year. So last tour he reached like point of no return. So we had to cancel a few shows at the end of the tour, even if the tour was great. So he's been like going for 2 months into recovery now, and like physiotherapy and stuff. And last 2 weeks we've been rehearsing a lot for this gig, and he was okay. It was perfect. So 2 days before leaving, he broke one of the one of the tendons on his ankle. So it was 2 days before going back to playing after the trauma that we had. So it was really, 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 really hard. We had a very, very bad mood. So we had to do a choice, or like not playing and wait for other 1-2 months, depending on it, or using a little bit of technology and do it anyway. So we decided to do it. We decided to put like the double stroke parts in the backing tracks, and he's doing all the right kick stuff because he broke his left ankle. And we decided to do it, even if it's like a technological trick. But anyways, we want to bring our energy and our heart into the show. So like not playing for other 2 months because of a very, very unlucky situation felt like shit. So we decided to do it, and it worked really good. Francesco worked a lot because he had like 3 days to relearn how to think a lot of stuff without using the double strokes. So it was really hard for him, but the final result was great. So for now it worked, and now back to recovery for the ankle this time, but I know it's gonna be okay, because Francesco is the soul of this band, and he really is a very strong man. So I know he's gonna be okay in a few days, and we're gonna be back on tour we're having another festival in Denmark next week, and then we're gonna be back in May for a few gigs in Eastern Europe and France to also rescue the gigs that we lost on the last tour.
Yeah, cool. No, so I think that everyone would agree that playing the show with a bit of technology is much better than cancelling at the last minute. I would much rather see you guys, as a FLESHGOD fan, I would much rather see you play and have a bit of technology involved than cancel the show completely.
We're not like, we've always approached the live shows in a very old school way. So for us, it sounds a little strange to do something like that. But in the meantime, that's exactly what we thought. We thought, okay, Francesco is still playing, even if 60-70% of what he's actually playing, but we are bringing our show, we're bringing FLESHGOD APOCALYPSE to the fans that want to see the show, and we didn't feel like canceling last minute because we had this very bad luck. So I really, really think that all the fans that wanted to see us were very happy about this, and we didn't have any problem doing it.
Fantastic, cool. So it's been about a year, give or take, since you were last in Scotland. You came here just before the King cycle, I believe. How does it feel to be back?
Very good. It's good to see that this last year it's been really continuously going better and better in the reception of this album in which we really put a lot of effort, and we, as usual, we're very positive people, so we knew that it could be good and it could work, but really we've been shocked by the reaction, and it's so good to see that after 1 year now, like everywhere we go, people are singing every chorus of the songs, and to see that really the word is spreading and King is really taking over everywhere. So this is really, really nice, and we're very, very happy about this.
Fantastic, cool. Do you think Scotland could maybe see another Flesh God headline show maybe anytime soon, or is that a distant thought?
I mean, we don't have exact plans on that, but for sure, yeah. I mean, this year, for sure, this year is gonna be a little bit less, stressful on the live side compared to last year, because last year has been a massacre in a good way, but still. So, but in the meantime, we are already thinking about some new music, and we're already working on some new music because inspiration came really early this time. So I mean, if not in the next future, but for sure it's gonna happen pretty soon.
Cool, fantastic. I can't wait. So have you got a sort of timeline in mind for this new music that's going to be coming out?
For now, I wouldn't say any specific time, just because, in a process like that, you never want to, give people some information and then, being like in the hype and then, okay, no.
Yeah,
but, we're pretty, in a composition mood, so that means that for sure this year we're gonna, between tours, we're gonna have some more time and we're gonna work a lot on the music. So I guess that next year, anyways, somewhere in next year is gonna be the release date.
Cool. Excellent. I'm really excited for this new album. I'm sure that any Flesh God fan or anyone that has heard the album would agree that King has a much more refined and sort of perfected sound over Labyrinth than anything before that. How did you sort of progress as songwriters and musicians from Labyrinth onto King?
Well, as you said, indeed, yes. We're very happy about the result in terms of sound also, beside the composition for which regards King. But this is connected also, of course, to the composition, but especially on the arrangement side, because working on this kind of music, you continuously learn how some things that you have in mind, you imagine that those things should be written in a certain way, but then you realize that to have the result that you have in mind, maybe sometimes you have to do things slightly differently to have that result that logically would seem, like, okay, I have to do this, but then no, you realize that maybe to have this kind of result in terms of sound, I have to do this instead. So we've been adjusting a lot of stuff on that level, and this really helped a lot. And also, of course, it's been really nice to also experience new methods and new ways into recording and also mixing and mastering. So it's been the first time that we've been recording all the tracks in Kick Studios in Rome. And it's been the very first time that we've been working for mixing and mastering with Mr. Jens Bogren at the Fascination Street Studios. And of course, these new elements and some new people working with us, and this experience of trying to, find the right way to have the sound that we had in mind, it really helped, and we're really happy about that, because we felt that for the very first time we had the kind of sound that we always had in mind. Yeah. So, and it depends really on people working on the album, and in the meantime on things that we've been, changing. And
so I believe that the majority of the orchestration and symphonic elements of Flesh God sound, that's mostly done sort of digitally in the studio. Yeah. Do you want to sort of get a live orchestra into the studio? Is that something you would want to do in the future? Is it just kind of budget issues that's stopping that, or?
I mean, there is of course a matter of budget too, but that's something that if things go right, it could happen in the future that we have the chance of at least start adding some, at least having, some elements, if not a whole orchestra, playing real instruments. But also, it also depends on the kind of album that you're working on, because like, for example, an album like King or Labyrinth, the issue would also be finding the musicians to do that, because sometimes also for professional classical musicians, some of the things that we do and the way we use the orchestrations is really extreme. So also because, of course, mixing up these two genres also made us write music in a way that if in classical music you would have some moments of rest here and there, sometimes we have songs in which a violin player should be like actually shredding for 6 minutes in a row at very high speeds. So it would also be pretty difficult to find the orchestra to do that. I mean, you need very, very high level musicians to do some of the stuff that we have. Not everything, but some of the stuff. So it's a balance of the two things, but it depends on many elements. I mean, even we still actually don't know which kind of shape the music is taking in the future. We already have ideas and we're putting down ideas, but it could happen maybe that we have some things that are more technically affordable, and so maybe we could start being, in the position to be able to introduce some of these elements. But for sure, we have this in mind, because even if the good thing is that technology is growing, and and especially Francesco Ferrini is very good at working also on dynamics and the sound of the digital orchestra, so we're reaching levels in which really sometimes it's very hard to distinguish from digital to real, but still a real instrument is played by a human being, and that makes the difference. So of course we have that in mind since the beginning. I mean, we'll try to start introducing stuff and make it grow into that direction for sure.
Nice one, cool. So Flesh God and Hour of Penance seem to be kind of leading the charge for Italian death metal and just Italian metal in general. Could you sort of give us an idea of what the Italian metal scene is actually like?
I mean, in this moment, the good things is that there are bands that are working hard and that are doing things and trying to do things beside our penance, but there are bands in Italy that are breaking out and that are making good music. But what I see is that in this moment, the thing that is missing is the scene in the true meaning of the word, because the scene is not only made by musicians, unfortunately. It's also made by all the context in which the music is being played. You know what I mean? So, I mean, having a particular place or city where things happen and where there is people that is behind the scene, that is like club owners or whatever, that are really interested into the development of the music, is something that is very, very important part of a scene. And I see like in this moment that is something that is really missing. Even if, again, there are bands that are making very like high quality music, even in metal music. I mean, yeah, okay, there's Our Penance, there's Death Rage, there's guys, Nightland, that we've been on tour in Europe in January, that are doing very good stuff. But for sure, what is difficult now is to have a following, to have people who is interested into the development of the music. This is why even 7-8 years ago, I think it was a little better on that side, but in the meantime, even for us, it was like that. We started from like playing abroad and outside the country, because in this, the internet era really helped, because you can spread your music on internet, otherwise it would be impossible to do it. But in the meantime, for us too, it was the same. We had to start from outside our country, because it's really, really, really hard to start something from Italy and develop it starting from your country. It's not easy.
No, hopefully the Italian metal scene will kind of grow in the future. I would certainly love to see that. But thank you very much for your time tonight. I really appreciate it. FLESHGOD Apocalypse's newest album, King, is out now through Nuclear Blast Records. It was released last year. Absolutely check it out. It's a fantastic album. And if you get the chance, check out FLESHGOD live. They are killer. Thanks very much, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.